As many of you know, Rashad Richey tried to write a physics book. Now we need to put physics in quotes, because as you also know, Rashad Richey knows nothing about physics. And if he wants to challenge me on that claim, I am more than happy to debate him any time he wishes, because I do know physics. As an aside, he already challenged me to a debate some time ago. I accepted, then he turned tail. When I first heard Richey crowing about publishing a physics book, I thought he was doing his usual Rashad Richey thing, lying. But it turns out that he actually wrote one. Sort of. I mean, calling his book a physics book is really laying it on thick. But okay. Of course, Richey couldn't resist lying anyway, so he claims it as a, get this, bestseller. Keep in mind that this bestseller ranks number 1,154,000th in Amazon sales. If you go on to Amazon.com, you'll see a smattering of complimentary reviews from Rashad's friends and interns at the Young Turks. And you can tell that Richey put them up to it because they all ended with good job and way to go. I mean, who writes like that? If you're curious, go watch my previous video where I read them out loud. In this video, we're actually going to read a paragraph chosen randomly from his book, and then we'll stare at each other in astonishment, and not in a good way. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With cold, blunt analysis cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's time for the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
Now keep in mind that the absurdity of what you're about to hear is not confined to this paragraph. They all sound like this. So here goes. The well-known myth of Isis and Osiris also demonstrates the Egyptians' understanding and personification of the qualities of frequency and vibration as they compose the material world. Yeah, the typical Rashad Richey fan wouldn't know Osiris from Zeus, and would only know Isis from the popular TV show.
Oh, mighty Isis.
Notice that he says frequency and vibration. The fact that frequency is just one way to measure vibration seems lost on Rashad. He treats frequency as if it's a physical concept. No, frequency is just the rate at which something vibrates, at least in classical physics. The idea that frequency can have quality is inane. It's like saying the quality of speed, and I'm not talking about the drug. I mean, I'm talking about how fast you're traveling. There is no quality to it. But this raises another problem. Rashad doesn't seem to understand that the oscillators used in quantum field theory to model space are not actually vibrating. There's nothing there oscillating back and forth. He hears the term frequency and vibration and thinks that there is something there actually rocking back and forth. In truth, we don't even know what is happening physically, but it's almost certainly not vibration, which renders the whole Egyptians' new quantum field theory, because they knew that the material world was made of vibration, is just a bunch of hooey. If they really did think that, they got it wrong. As described, where? Many aspects, like what, of the Isis and Osiris story resonate with, reflect, and illuminate qualities of the divine. Yeah, the divine. Remember, this is supposed to be a physics book. Or the origination point. I guess using the origin didn't sound fancy enough. Of the multiple refracted or polarized aspects of manifested physical creation. What does all this mean? Damned if I know. Now, he doesn't either. The problem is that Rashad loves to use physics terms, even if he doesn't understand them. Yes, refraction and polarization refer to the field of optics, as anyone who has taken a second semester of freshman physics can attest. But they make no sense in this context. Refracted or polarized aspects of manifested physical creation? I assume that manifested physical creation refers to the God's creation of matter, in the pure horse manure sense of Egyptian mythology, or the creation of matter from the resonance of oscillators in the quantum field theory sense. But what on God's earth does that have to do with refraction and polarization? In this sense, modern integrations of ancient Egyptian geometric concepts taken from the myth of Isis and Osiris, namely modern pentagonal interpretation, often refer to the myth as the Bonnie and Clyde of modern geometry. By the way, I did a Google search on pentagonal interpretation and found nothing, except the book that Rashad leaned on to write half of his own book. In other words, when Rashad writes modern, he really means made up. And how does any of this relate to Bonnie and Clyde? What the fuck? So Isis and Osiris were like Bonnie and Clyde, which means they were akin to a bank robber and his homely girlfriend? Well, where does he get this? Well, it's from Querenberger. Again, he bases half of his book on Querenberger's book. So we got to shift over to Querenberger. Rashad cites only 28 resources in his book. That's right, 28 for the entire book. But he really only uses 2, Querenberger and Karam. And here's what it says. Some sources tell us that Isis, although she was queen of the gods,
O zephyr winds which blow on high, lift me now so I can fly.
This certainly fits with the mythology of the Ennead. Well, yeah, of course. Which states that Isis and her husband Osiris had actually ruled Egypt before the time of the first pharaohs. Oh, well, that seals it. I mean, if Isis and her husband had ruled Egypt after the time of the first pharaohs, that would destroy the whole Egyptian model of quantum field theory, or whatever it is she's trying to prove. According to old wise traditions, the most intelligent people were elected to rule the country. Yeah, I bet that ancient Egyptians scoured the land looking for the most intelligent people to serve as their rulers. Genealogy would have little say in it, right? So it is allowed to consider the Isis and Osiris as art researchers. Yeah, art researchers. The Bonnie and Clyde of geometry. Yeah, okay, this makes sense. I'm picturing clear images of Isis and Osiris being chased down a dirt road in a 34 Ford while searching for the most intelligent bank robbers to head their gang, while at the same time doing art research. Modern physical pentagonal interpretation of the myth of Isis and Osiris suggests that descriptions of Osiris serve as fundamental illustrations of cosmic laws of harmony, otherwise referred to as the Golden Order. Okay, I'm sorry. This is starting to get really thick. Well, I mean, it was getting thick from the first sentence. What is this Golden Order he is yammering about? Well, get ready, because I looked it up. It's from a video game. There certainly doesn't seem to be anything relating the Golden Order to cosmic laws of harmony. Check this out. So we don't rely on physics experiments and higher mathematics to deduce quantum field theory. No. Instead, we read the myth of Osiris and Isis while relating them to bank robbers and video games. Yeah, this is Rashad's way of doing physics. Of course, Rashad will fire back that the reason we think his book is dog droppings is because we can't understand it. It's just too high of a level. 4-dimensional chess. Yeah, okay. Sure, Rashad. Like my video and subscribe to my channel. And I'll read more paragraphs in future videos because it gets even worse.